11 News starts with breaking news.
Good afternoon, everyone. Breaking now, Chopper 11 just flew over I-79 where a high-speed chase ended with a crash in Washington County. That crash on 79 North, right near the Houston exit, but it closed the interstate in both directions at one point. An SUV and a car were involved. The SUV on the highway had major damage to the front end. One car from the northbound lanes ended up in the grass and a person was hurt. That crash causing some big backups for drivers.
And Channel 11's traffic anchor Tricia Pittman here now with a closer look at the impact. Tricia.
I'm still seeing some pretty heavy delays through that area as you make your way northbound. Still seeing delays headed all the way up toward the Houston interchange, and then the southbound direction backing up a little bit as well. Earlier we were seeing a significant backlog back before Racetrack Road. Meadowlands exit as traffic in the northbound direction was only getting by on the shoulder. Now in the southbound direction, all lanes are open once again, but with those northbound restrictions still in place, do keep in mind that traveling through that area you should allow a few extra minutes. You can see there's Chopper 11 flying over the scene. The northbound traffic backs up heavily as everyone has to scooch over to the right-hand lane, only getting by on the right-hand shoulder, and a lot of tractor trailer traffic in the backlog. So with those big rigs trying to get through, very slow moving to get past the accident scene. Now again, southbound traffic moving along fine. Once there's an accident like this, especially when it does involve a police officer, there's always an accident investigation and reconstruction. So could be quite some time until the roadway is fully reopened and traffic is moving fine through that area once again. So just allow a few extra minutes traveling through Washington County between Racetrack Road and the area of 519.
All right, thank you so much, Tricia. And we are also following some breaking news on coronavirus cases.
And the trend continues. The Allegheny County Health Department says it's learned of 484 new cases since yesterday, after 2 days of cases over 600 and a record high on Wednesday. All but 6 of the new positive tests are from the past week. 3 new deaths were also reported. Some promising news. Drug maker Pfizer is close to getting its vaccine out on the market. They've asked the FDA for emergency approval today. The CEO says once the FDA gives them the go-ahead, they'll be ready to start distributing the vaccine. Moderna is also close to requesting FDA approval on its vaccine. The FDA commissioner says they won't approve a vaccine that they wouldn't give to their own families.
The state is preparing for when the vaccine is ready, who will get it, and specifically what it means for children. As we mentioned, the first vaccine for adults could be here next month. In order for the Pfizer vaccine to be effective, it will be given in 2 doses. The second medication from Moderna could be coming as soon as January, and it will be prioritized to the most vulnerable groups. However, children aren't part of any of those groups. The vaccines are specifically aimed at preventing adults from getting it since they are the most vulnerable. Health officials from UPMC say it could take longer to develop an effective vaccine for kids. That's partially due to most parents not wanting their children to be part of the clinical trial. Experts believe a child's version may not even come out until the beginning of perhaps the next school year. As for masks, State Health Secretary Dr. Rachel Levine says we will likely be wearing them well into next year.
You've heard it from local and state officials, and now the CDC is telling Americans to stay home and not travel for Thanksgiving.
We could save, tens of thousands of lives by doing that.
The CDC says traveling right now could spread the virus from one part of the country to another. For those who are still planning to travel, they say wear masks, social distance, and wash your hands. In Butler County, leaders are also urging residents to avoid gatherings. It's the same message from the state, but commissioners say people are not listening. There's been a surge of cases in Butler County with a positivity rate of 10%. One woman told us that several families in her neighborhood got together for Halloween, and she and several others ended up with the virus.
Wear the mask, do what you're supposed to do, wash your hands, stay away, don't do the parties. It's not worth it.
Because of the rising cases, Butler Health System is expanding testing, and the county is working with the state to add a pop-up testing site in December. We have a list of where you can get tested right now on WPXI.com and the WPXI News app.
Pittsburgh city leaders could be forced to make crucial cuts to the police department, firehouses, and EMS. According to our partners at the Trib, the pandemic wiped out a $120 million reserve this year. It leaves the city $25 million in the hole. If some kind of government relief is not approved by July 4th, the city will be forced to make significant cuts. The cuts include laying off more than 600 city employees. About 200 of those job cuts would be among police officers, more than 150 firefighters, and 60 paramedics. The city says it needs $26 million in additional funding from the federal government. It would also need about $120 million to get to where the city was at the start of 2020. City Council needs to adopt a final budget by December 21st.
Thank you so much. Thank you to her.
A driver saw smoke and flames and saved the day, making sure everyone got out of this building in Elizabeth Township. That fire burned a store and apartments above it. Channel 11's Alyssa Raymond first followed this as breaking news during our morning newscast, and since then she spoke with the store owner about the woman who came to the rescue on Industry Road.
Around 5 o'clock this morning, a woman was driving here along Industry Road. She saw a fire coming out of the front door of this building. She stopped her car, got out, ran upstairs, and started knocking on the door.
Thank you so much. Thank you to her, because if she wouldn't have told her, then I don't know what it might have gone wrong, you know, so. Or I might not be even standing here in front of you.
Pranal Shah owns Trailview Convenience Store. He also lives upstairs with his wife and 4-year-old son. They made it out safely thanks to a woman who decided to stop to help. Firefighters think the fire started in the store on the first floor. And since the building's been remodeled several times, firefighters say that made it tough to knock it out.
I had him unlock the front door for me and move away pretty quick, because I could tell that there was smoke, heavy smoke inside. As soon as he did that and got away from the door, the front door kind of blew open with a lot of flame. It did that twice, and then the front window let loose, and we had heavy fire coming out of the whole front part of the store.
Firefighters say it's pretty close to a total loss. The Allegheny County Fire Marshal's office is still looking into what started this fire. This place has been a lot of things over the years, but for the last 14 years, it's been the Trailview Convenience Store. It means a lot to the community, and the community means a lot to this owner. Find out just how much at 5. Reporting in Elizabeth Township, Alyssa Raymond, Channel 11 News.
A warning from Scott Township Police: keep your car doors locked. Officers are investigating several car break-ins and a stolen car. The thefts happened yesterday in the Somerville area. Police took 2 teenagers into custody. They say they're part of a group involved in stealing cars all over the Pittsburgh area.
More than 2 weeks after the election, and a local race has come to a tie. Incumbent State Senator Jim Brewster and Republican challenger Nicole Ziccarelli both have 65,978 votes in the 45th district race. The Senate district includes portions of Allegheny and Westmoreland counties. Ziccarelli pulled into a tie last night after more mail-in and provisional ballots were counted in Westmoreland County, and the race could come down to mail-in ballots that are missing dates. Last night, a state court ordered more than 2,000 of those ballots not be counted in Allegheny County. Appeals are expected to take this case all the way to the Supreme Court.
Georgia's Secretary of State plans to certify election results today, with President-elect Joe Biden as the winner. The state wrapped up a hand count of more than 5 million votes. The audit confirmed there was no widespread fraud or irregularities in the election. President Donald Trump could still request a recount. Now to the presidential transition and the very different ways President Trump and President-elect Biden are moving forward. Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
For example, anywhere in the world we've developed.
President-elect Biden and President Trump both holding meetings today with very different missions. The president-elect hosting congressional Democratic leaders Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer to talk COVID relief, with cases hitting another record high and hospitals reaching capacity. The White House Coronavirus Task Force yesterday holding its first briefing since July. Meanwhile, the president has invited Michigan's Republican legislative leaders to the White House as his campaign tries to overturn election results in that state, where Biden leads by more than 150,000 votes. Biden warning of a dangerous message to the American people.
I think they're witnessing incredible irresponsibility, incredibly damaging messages being sent to the rest of the world about how democracy functions.
President Trump's legal advisors, including Rudy Giuliani, continuing to push an unproven conspiracy of voter fraud.
They made significant mistakes, like all crooks do, and we caught them.
Giuliani refusing to give reporters evidence to back up his claims that have been falling flat in the courts. The campaign withdrawing a lawsuit in Michigan just yesterday. Republican senators now weighing in. Ben Sasse saying, quote, wild press conferences erode public trust, adding we are a nation of laws, not tweets. Senator Mitt Romney accusing the president of resorting to, quote, overt pressure on state and local officials to subvert the will of the people. The Biden and Trump teams do appear to agree on one thing. The president-elect telling a bipartisan group of governors yesterday that he does not support a nationwide shutdown because each region is different. Vice President Pence delivering the same message in that COVID task force briefing. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
The ice rink at PPG Place opens today, but you won't see the normal crowds. Channel 11's Mike Holden spoke and found out how they are keeping the rink safe from COVID.
A holiday staple has returned right here in downtown Pittsburgh. We're talking all about PPG Rink, and this year officials say it will look and feel a bit different, with safety being the #1 priority. The centerpiece of downtown holiday cheer is now in place. The rink at PPG Place officially opened to the public today. For 20 years, it's driven thousands of folks to the area. This year, though, will be unlike any before. The rink will now operate under several COVID-19 safety protocols. Admission is limited to local guidelines for outdoor gatherings. Capacity will be monitored, and online ticket purchases will determine exactly how many people can be there at a time. Skaters must maintain 6 feet distance while waiting in line. Masks must be worn. Temperature checks will be performed. And finally, sanitizing and cleaning will be happening constantly throughout the course of the day. This year has certainly brought new challenges, but officials say they're excited to spread some cheer during a very difficult time.
With my mom being a registered nurse at home, I know, like, if I keep myself safe and knowing people are safe, then, like, it'll go smoothly, and it's just a matter of people taking care of themselves, and it'll also take care of others. So I feel like it just depends on, like, how people take on the challenge of pushing forward with following restrictions.
And the rink right here in downtown will be open through February 28th for the holiday season. I'm now talking with folks in the area about how they feel about these additional safety changes and if they'll return this go-around. For Channel 11 News starting at 5 o'clock tonight. Reporting downtown, Mike Holden, Channel 11 News.
I'm going to go shopping.
Why some people say Allegheny County's stay-at-home advisory won't keep them from going out.
And the Steelers say players are exempt from wearing masks, but the state says, wait a minute, the mask mandate confusion.
Today we're nice and dry and mild, but changes are on the way as we head into the weekend and the beginning of the new work week. Details on those changes coming up in about 5 minutes.
State leaders are at odds with the Steelers after confusion over the mask order. It started Wednesday when the team issued a statement saying the governor's office granted them an exemption. But on Thursday, the state said they did not. Our partners at the Trib heard back from the Steelers, who said the exemption wasn't specific to the team. They said that they're covered under Section 3 of the health department's face covering order that says athletes with respiratory issues are exempt while playing a sport. The Steelers play their next home game Thanksgiving night against the Baltimore Ravens right here on Channel 11.
Small businesses are now scrambling on how to survive with Allegheny County's new stay-at-home advisory. It expires 1 week shy of Christmas, and a lot of stores are depending on the holiday shopping season to get by now more than ever. Some people we spoke with say these new guidelines won't change anything. Channel 11's Gabriella DeLuca spoke with local mothers who say they're tired of being stuck at home.
Santa still has to come for your kids. What are you going to do? Tell them Santa got sick?
Doing Christmas shopping online just isn't the same as going in person. That's how local mom Candace Wilhelm feels, even after Allegheny County issued a stay-at-home advisory because of surging COVID-19 numbers.
I'm one of those people that want to go in person. Like I want to see what I'm getting. I want to feel what I'm buying.
That's encouraging for the owner of Gifted Hands, Shelly Horry, who owns 4 brick-and-mortar shops. She was surprised.
Today, we're actually up. I've been checking our foot traffic. We do hourly, so we see how many transactions per hour.
But just in case, she has been ramping up their online store for fear that a stay-at-home order will be issued.
I think it's critical. While the website has been doing well, I feel that it will never bring in what 4 brick and mortar locations would. So anything to help offset the potential blow is, it's great.
It's a feeling Joanna Emilio, the owner of a bar studio, Daily Method, has been experiencing for months. At this point, she's torn, but is staying open for her customers with several health precautions in place.
I'm a rule follower by nature, so as this advisory comes, you want to accommodate that and do what's right. But there is rent and there is a business, and so trying to make that all work right now is an interesting puzzle to be solved.
Gabriella DeLuca, Channel 11 News.
A new MasterCard survey shows 77% of Americans will choose to shop local this year. A majority plan to be more mindful of where they shop, favoring businesses that share their personal values. 75% of holiday shoppers will favor small, minority, and women-owned businesses. Nearly 2/3 of those surveyed say they plan to shop in stores that have contactless payment options. And 82% say they are likely to shop online, with more than half expecting to complete most of their shopping online. Deep discounts on Black Friday. Wallet Hub surveyed nearly 7,000 deals from 26 of the biggest retailers in the U.S. It found JCPenney will have the highest average discount of nearly 57% off. Macy's follows close behind with an average discount of around 56%. Kohl's comes in third with the average of 52%.
If you're ready to decorate for the holidays but don't have time, Walmart is rolling out a new feature. The company will deliver a freshly cut tree and other holiday plants right to your home, and they'll even decorate your house with holiday lights. If you already have the lights, a team will professionally install them for you and later take them down. It will cost anywhere between $129 and $199.
Your severe winter Team 11 forecast.
This is really just the perfect way to wrap up the work week. We have the sunshine coming in. You even see the glare there on the tower cam. I just posted this to my social media because I just thought this was a great shot as we overlook the city of Pittsburgh, and we see how mild it is. Really nice and mild this midday. And we even have some more warming on the way as we head later into the afternoon. Right now, 60 degrees. Kind of breezy out there, coming from the southwest at 14 miles per hour. In Pittsburgh, you're not the only one. We are in the 20s here, 23, that is, mile per hour wind in Greensburg, and this is the sustained wind. So gusts are even higher, 15 mile per hour wind right now in Beaver, 14 miles per hour in Washington. So nice outside, but hold on to your hats because it's quite breezy outside. Nice weather though for a nice run this afternoon. Temperatures getting into the lower 60s. around 2 p.m. And then later this evening and tonight, we will continue to be on the milder side, still mild for as far as highs are concerned. For this time of year, highs should actually be near 50 degrees, but we won't even be near 50 tonight at around 8 o'clock. We will, though, see that cloud cover start to build as our next system tries to push through here. Maybe even a few isolated showers later tonight. We won't see any of that while most people are still out and about. So around 5 o'clock, the sun sets just a few minutes before 5. You're still good to go. Still seeing a good bit of sunshine. That cloud cover starting to push in, though. We'll see more clouds, and there goes those isolated chances for showers later tonight, even into the overnight hours. The chance is very slim. Won't even see any rain again. A lot of that action coming while a lot of us are in bed or asleep. Maybe a stray shower early in the morning. By the morning hours, we're dry, but holding on to much more cloud cover. So we're looking dry for tomorrow. Pretty hefty rain chance for Sunday coming up in the next half hour. I will show you the hour-by-hour forecast on Storm Tracker and also show you where we could possibly see some wintry precipitation in the mix. So stick around for that. But here's a timeline for the rain impact for Sunday. Looking like mainly during the morning hours, we do have a quiet period coming on Sunday, so not a complete washout, and more rain into the nighttime hours as well. Temperatures, though, trending downward, so I would definitely take advantage today of the nice warmer temperatures. Get outside and enjoy it, because we will be in the 50s this weekend, low to mid 50s, and then going into your Monday after that system that brings that pretty hefty rain chance on Sunday, we have much cooler air on the way. Here's your 5-day forecast, and you see those temperatures trending downwards. And again, coming up, we will talk about the storm tracker for Sunday, and also I'm giving you a sneak peek at the Thanksgiving forecast, so stick around for them.
Health officials say the coronavirus is spreading in households. New information on how fast it can happen if someone in your family is infected.
Big updates coming to the state's 911 system. The life-saving changes being made to send help faster. State leaders announced a major overhaul of Pennsylvania's 911 system, and the hope is these changes can save lives. The system has been upgraded to a next-generation 911 platform, which boosts the speed and accuracy of 911 call delivery. It also allows you to text 911, and the system will now work better with cell phones. That last one is really important. 11 Investigates told you back in September when a West Mifflin woman had a medical emergency at her home. She called 911, but her Verizon mobile pinged at a T-Mobile tower. Because it was another carrier's tower, there was no number or location when the call came into 911, so dispatchers couldn't trace her location to send an ambulance. Her husband eventually found her unconscious, but it was too late.
The system failed, as far as I'm concerned, whether it's the 911, I don't know if it's the system itself or human error, but something failed.
Moving forward, the next-gen 911 system will provide a location even if a call jumps carriers.
Kennywood wants to make sure you don't miss out on the fun next year. They already have started a new program to provide protection against COVID closures. The Daybreak Guarantee extends 2021 season passes into 2022 if there are missed days due to the pandemic. For example, if the park opens a week late this coming spring, passes would be extended to include the first week of the 2022 season.
A major development today, Pfizer is submitting its vaccine candidate for FDA approval, the next steps in getting that vaccine to you.
And new mask mandates now in effect. We're finding out what churches are changing to make sure everyone is safe.
We are looking into what changes, if any, churches will make as COVID cases are on the rise. Channel 11's Melanie Gillespie spoke with a Monsignor in the Greensburg Catholic Diocese about what he is doing.
Well, as these stronger state mandates go into effect tomorrow, face masks are required anytime you leave your house, and church is no exception to that rule. We checked in with the diocese to find out what's changing as COVID cases skyrocket. As Westmoreland County continues to shatter record highs for COVID cases, churches are gearing up for popular holiday masses. The Diocese of Greensburg is forced to get creative to celebrate Christ in the height of a pandemic.
Nothing is going to be changing, but I think all of us, and in the church as well, we are going to be continuing to stress through not only our personal interaction with people, but our communication with people, how important it is to strictly follow these guidelines.
Masks have been and will be required for churchgoers. The diocese is hoping to combat capacity issues for the holidays by continuing to stream masses online, and will be televising Christmas services on PCNC. And for the first time, an earlier mass will be offered before 4 p.m. Christmas Eve.
Having the masks go as early as possibly 2 p.m. in some communities, we're hoping will again be another way of helping people to stay connected, celebrate in a safe way. Beautiful celebration of the birth of Christ.
Westmoreland County clocked a record high 259 COVID cases and 7 more deaths just in the last 24 hours. Even as stricter state guidelines come down, the diocese says it feels comfortable and confident in continuing with weddings and other celebrations with its safety measures in place.
Especially to the protocols of social distancing, seating capacity that we have, as we've consulted with healthcare professionals, the mandatory wearing of masks, sanitization after masses. We feel confident that in following those procedures, we're keeping our people safe and healthy.
We also reached out to the Pittsburgh Diocese. They said they're working on updating some guidelines, and they'll have more information to release tomorrow. Reporting in Greensburg, I'm Melanie Gillespie for Channel 11 News.
Channel 11 is partnering with the Diocese of Greensburg to stream Christmas Eve and Christmas Day masses on the WPXI Now app. You can just search WPXI on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV to find it.
Some workers in Beaver County say they're working in fear after an outbreak that affected people in dozens of buildings. Nearly 100 county employees are into quarantine after they either tested positive or were exposed. Workers say the county does not have clear and consistent workplace policies. The county officials we spoke with disagree.
I love being able to feel like I can help somebody. But how are we helping them if we too are exposing them? Is that morally correct? Because I feel it is totally against what we're supposed to stand for.
But what I do want to tell the people of Beaver County is that we are all in this together. Community spread is not coming from any one cause or source.
A good bit of these employees who have tested positive or are currently quarantining are due to outside social events.
Beaver County commissioners are urging people not to travel for Thanksgiving and to wear a mask indoors and outdoors if you can't socially distance. Now that Pfizer is submitting an emergency use authorization request for its COVID-19 vaccine, people could start getting the shots as soon as next month. Our Jacqueline Fell takes us through what's next.
Officials with the Health and Human Services Department and the FDA say they will move, quote, as quickly as possible to approve COVID-19 vaccines for limited use. Pfizer says its vaccine appears to be 95% effective at preventing mild to severe cases of COVID-19. The drug maker says it's ready to start shipping the shots within hours of getting emergency approval. If approved, the first people to be vaccinated are likely to be doctors, nurses, and other frontline workers. Moderna is also developing a vaccine and is not far behind Pfizer. The nation's leading infectious disease expert, Dr. Anthony Fauci, says life could be getting closer to normal by late spring, early summer, but don't throw away your masks.
I think you're still, even with the vaccine, going to have some degree of public health activity in the sense of be it masks, be it decreasing the capacity of places.
Pfizer says it expects to distribute 50 million doses of its vaccine this year and more than 1 billion by the end of 2021. Reporting outside Washington, Jacqueline Fell, Channel 11 News.
State officials have a message for people in need. Take advantage of food assistance programs. That includes vouchers for the Farmers Market Nutrition Program. They let users buy fresh produce from farmers markets and farm stands. There's also the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, also known as SNAP, the United Way, and food banks and food pantries. If you need help, we do have a list of food pantries for you on WPXI.com. Just click on the resources guide on our homepage. Tyson Foods has suspended top officials at a pork plant in Iowa after allegations they bet on how many workers would get infected during an outbreak. A lawsuit was filed by the son of a worker who died in April. Among other things, it claims a plant manager organized a betting pool for supervisors and managers. About 1,000 workers ended up contracting the virus at the plant, and several of them died.
And they told me that everything was okay, and they told me I'll have a better chance of catching the coronavirus going out to Walmart than in Tyson.
Tyson won't comment on the lawsuit, but said its top priority is the health and safety of its workers.
A Troy Hill man who police say was obsessed with mass shootings and Nazis has been sentenced to prison. Dennis Riggs will spend 32 months behind bars. Earlier this year, federal agents found a semi-automatic rifle with 1,000 rounds of ammunition in his home. Riggs was not allowed to have guns because he's a convicted felon. Agents also found photos of him wearing Nazi clothes and giving Nazi salutes. You may recall Target 11 told you retired federal judge Carl Alexander is serving 2 years in prison for buying a gun for Riggs. Court records show he lied to a firearms dealer about the purchase. Alexander said Riggs picked out the gun and gave him money for it. The Steelers' Cam Hayward has donated a pair of game-worn cleats to honor the victims of the Tree of Life shooting. The cleats were designed by a painter here in Pittsburgh. Fans can win the cleats in an online raffle from now until November 23rd. If you'd like to bid, you can go to WPXI.com and search for Cam Hayward Donates Cleats.
All right, listen up, ladies. The city of Pittsburgh is offering free training for women to learn how to ask for a raise. It's a new initiative coming for Pittsburgh's Women Pay Equity Month, which is in November. The training will be free to all city residents once they get started in January.
Well, mild temperatures again today, but some strong wind gusts out there.
Meteorologist Jessica Faith has her forecast as we head into the weekend. Jessica.
Yeah, no need to ask for a raise in temperatures. We got it. We are close to about 10 degrees above average. We still have some warming to go as we head later into the afternoon hours. We're at 60 degrees right now in Pittsburgh, and Jointon and Washington 62, and not that bad either. Looking good there in Greensburg at 63 degrees. We're cooler going into the weekend, but if I had to take my pick, it would be Saturday, because at least we're looking dry. Sunday, looking at a pretty hefty rain chance coming up in about 5 minutes. I'll have the latest storm tracker to show you when and where those showers will pour, and also look at where we could see some wintry precipitation in the mix, and when and where you could see that as well.
Obsessively disinfecting and wiping down surfaces, but is it really necessary? Why one expert says it may be giving you a false sense of security.
New partnerships have been announced in the Lower Hill District development. The Penguins have added 4 Hill District neighbors. The news comes a week after the Penguins missed an October deadline to buy the former Civic Arena site, but the Penguins are still on track to secure the land and start construction early next year. 2 months after the city rejected a design for the Woolies building in the Strip District, the developer is taking another shot. This is the original design. The Planning Commission didn't like the look or the fact that it is 21 stories tall. Have a look at the new proposal now. The building is divided into 4 towers, but according to our partners at the Business Time, this design is actually 2 stories taller than the other one. The new plan will be submitted next week.
All the disinfecting and sanitizing we're doing could be giving us a false sense of security. That's the word from some experts. The rush to buy cleaning supplies has left many shelves bare in the stores, especially Clorox and Lysol wipes. But scientists say don't forget the virus is spread mostly through the air.
If someone is sitting across from you without a mask on, they're going to be expelling millions of viral particles. Whereas if you touch a surface, you know, you're going to get a few hundred or maybe a few thousand viral particles on your hand. Not all of them are going to be active.
Doctors say it's still a good idea to sanitize your home and work areas, but social distancing and hand washing are the most effective ways to stay healthy.
Health officials say the coronavirus is spreading in households. New information on how fast that can happen if someone in your family is infected.
We're going to continue to trend dry as we go throughout the rest of the day, but I am tracking our next shot for showers. More details on Sunday showers coming up after the break.
With increasing COVID cases, there's also a greater risk someone in your home could test positive for the virus. If that happens, new evidence from the CDC shows there's a good chance it'll spread. NBC's Dr. Frank McGeorge shows us the risk.
According to a new report from the Centers for Disease Control, household spread of the COVID-19 virus is common and usually happens soon after someone first becomes sick. The study followed 101 households that started with just one confirmed case of COVID-19. Over half of people living with those patients went on to test positive, and the spread was fast. About 75% of infections were diagnosed within 5 days of the original patient's first symptoms. Researchers say the age of the first patient did not matter. Adults, children, and teens all spread the virus to others in their households. In households where the first patient was under 12, there was spread 53% of the time. But the highest rate of spread was when the first patient was over 50. There it happened 62% of the time. If someone in your home does show symptoms, that person should isolate to reduce the risk of spread to others. That means using a separate bedroom and bathroom if possible, and everyone should wear masks when you're in the same room. Also, frequently touched common surfaces should be cleaned regularly. Because it was common for the first infected person to have spent extended time, over 4 hours, in the same room as other household members on the day before and after illness onset, according to the authors, isolation should begin right away, even before test results are available.
And an earlier study found there was also a high rate of spread to household members, particularly to people with diabetes or from infected people who were immune compromised.
As we mentioned at the top of the newscast, the CDC is warning people not to travel for the holidays. A local travel agent we spoke with says her clients are still planning to travel, but are worried about the new state guidelines, especially the current one that requires people to quarantine for 14 days or test negative when coming back home.
That just adds a layer of complexity to their holiday planning. The stay-at-home order in Allegheny County is, I think all of those are just subtle disincentives to travel right now.
Despite the travel warnings from the CDC, AAA still expects next week to be one of the busiest travel periods of the year, as always.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Conditions continue to look really good as we head later into the afternoon. Today's high 62 degrees. Some temperatures on the warm side already there, and even a tad bit warmer. So a mix of sun and clouds. Some will see more sun than clouds, but that cloud cover will be building as we go throughout the nighttime hours. Breezy at times, even gusting close to 30 miles per hour at times, and we will again keep the mild conditions for quite some time. Maybe this is a good time, if you haven't done already, to put the lights up. Today and tomorrow, pretty good if you want to. I would choose today because today is warmer. Tomorrow, not bad. You may have to have a jacket on, but at least we're dry for both days. So there you go, if you haven't done so already. Sunday, definitely not suggesting putting the lights up. Sunday may be a day that you may want to just keep it inside. We will have periods of showers. There will be periods of dry conditions as well, but a pretty hefty rain chance for the morning hours and as we head into the nighttime as well. So Saturday night going into early Monday morning, especially during the overnight hours, showers pushing back into the area. And if you do have an early start on Sunday, know to have your rain gear in hand. Farther off toward the north and east, we could be seeing some wintry precipitation. Some of that could squeeze farther toward the south, closer to I-80 around Franklin, Clarion, but right now it looks like I-80 and points toward the north and east have that better chance. And for the majority of the area early in the morning on Sunday, it looks like we're just getting some liquid precipitation for Sunday. And we're going to continue to decrease coverage around 10 o'clock, more of us looking dry, and that's how we're going to trend as we go into the early afternoon. Early afternoon will be key if you want to head outside and get anything done, because later into the afternoon and evening hours, showers push back in, even seeing some heavier downpours moving through the area, and that will last into Sunday night as well. A few leftover showers for Monday morning, early on Monday, but as we go into the new work week, we're actually looking much drier. But I do want to give you a sneak peek at the Thanksgiving forecast. It's not on the 5-day forecast, but tracking this system, we've actually been looking at it as we've been going throughout the week and kind of getting a better handle on what Thanksgiving is going to be like going into next week. So it looks like that system will be swinging through, giving us showers mainly for the first half of the day. Some of those showers lingering into the afternoon hours, drying out as you head toward the evening, which may be key for a lot of you since some of you may be having Thanksgiving outside this year. Temperatures won't be that bad. Kind of a cool start into the 50s for the afternoon and evening hours, so just keep that in mind. Here's your 5-day forecast. Speaking of temperatures, we're trending downward, even getting into the 40s at the start of the new work week.
All right, thank you. And here is local steals and deals, Lisa Robertson.
Lisa Robertson here with Local Steals and Deals, and oh my gosh, you are going to want to hear this. This is the Clean Light Air. I love this, and right now I'm just thinking of how many I'm going to get, so here's why. This little device can clean a room up to 160 square feet. What do I mean by clean? I mean this cleans the air. There's a HEPA filter in here. It's a HEP 13 HEPA filter that cleans the air 360 degrees around. It actually takes 99% of the particles out of the air. Particles as small as smoke and dust and pet dander and pollen and all of VOCs and all those things nobody wants to be breathing in, takes them out, right? But then there's more, because after it goes through the HEPA filter, it goes through a UVC LED light that kills, wait for it, 99.99% of the bacteria and germs. Takes out 99% of the bad particles and then kills 99.99% of the bacteria and germs. So this is one where I think, wait a minute. Number one, I want one of these, and I want one in my kitchen. That's where I tend to spend my time. I want one that I can take with me in the car when I'm riding around. I want one that can be, in the office when I'm working. This is something I was thinking, wait a minute. I have a niece who's going to be going off to college. I really want to get her one of these for her dorm room. I have a nephew who's studying at home. I want to get one of these for him for one in his bedroom when he's in there studying all the time. I want to get one of these for my dad. He and his wife are home all the time. This is a time when we're all trying to do those basic common sense things to make ourselves safer, make our families safer, make the people we love safer. Isn't it amazing that it can be as small and simple as this is? Oh, it even works for aromatherapy. You can use essential oils, make the air smell great, and charge your cell phone while you're using it. All of this is 25% off on localsteals.com. I wish I had more time because, oh my gosh, is it amazing. But trust when I tell you, you're going to want a lot of them. I know I do.
A 5-year-old cancer survivor got to light the PPG Place tree downtown last night. Nora Masenchik was diagnosed with cancer when she was only 4 months old. She had 10 rounds of chemotherapy, but next year, if there's no evidence of disease, she will be officially in remission.
She's just full of life, and it's so wonderful to see that with everything that she went through at the beginning of her life.
The tree lighting also starts a weekend-long American Cancer Society Tribute of Light celebration. Duquesne Light canceled its normal tree lighting ceremony at Point State Park, but the lights were still turned on to spread cheer as we head into the holiday season. And one celebration that did go on as planned was Irwin's Light Up Night. Despite concerns about COVID, the town went ahead with the event, and you can see there was a pretty big crowd.
Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip will be celebrating their 73rd wedding anniversary today. Elizabeth was only 21 when she married Royal Navy Lieutenant Philip Mountbatten at Westminster Abbey in 1947. She has since been queen since 1952, ruling longer than any other British monarch. While Queen Elizabeth continues to carry out her duties, the 99-year-old Prince Philip has retired from public life.
That is all for Channel 11 News at noon. Our next newscast is tonight at 5.
Thanks for watching and have a great day.